All right, you guys, what's up? Welcome to the land of cow patties, cactus, and snakes. I'm like, I'm just off a dirt road over here, and oh my God, I followed a couple of trucks coming out here. It's a Saturday, so everywhere is super busy. There's people everywhere, and I'm literally out in the middle of nowhere, but on a road to where most trucks and types of things can go. It must be coming up on hunting season, or we're in some kind of hunting season right now, because see a lot of side by sides of people all camied out, and yeah, it's busy out here. So off in the distance, you probably can't see, but there's some red cliffs out there in the distance. That's the Red Rock Canyons of the backside of Sedona. And I'm kind of near a place called Perkinsville. It's where the Verde River flows through this valley behind me. And I just pulled off the road because it's a beautiful spot, right? But I gotta be mindful of the surroundings. I didn't know where I was gonna go. I just went out for a drive. So I got my tennis shoes on. I have my boots on, which is not always the best place. This is really a snake area. Plus there's cactus. Like I said, cow patties. There's these little trees like this tree here. There's another one right behind the camera. And underneath it, you can see where all the cows lay to get out of the sun. It's pretty crazy how those cows, they're all like dark brown and black out here. And when they're in the sun, you know they've got to be just getting beaten on hot heat. But I can tell you that, the last few weeks building up to this, I don't like talking about politics and stuff, but building up to this election, just everything that's going on, as much as you try and stay away from it, you feel like stress because it's like the unknown of what's going to happen. I just want to get past this. I want to get past this election and get past this year, and hopefully, we can rebuild relationships with people. We can repair the economy. We can get people back to work and all this crazy stuff. Because I wanted to pass on to you guys. See, maybe you guys are feeling kind of the same thing. Because honestly, I just want to live my life and be left alone. I don't want governments influencing my life at all. And right now, it's like everybody's all about picking sides, and it's like we're hugging the government, and I think we're losing sight of. Toyota just went by me. This is a very well-traveled road. I think it's because at the other end of it, there's a river that a lot of people like to go and camp by. And then there's, for like bringing your kids out to ride motorcycles. I remember when I was growing up, we'd always, we didn't have a lot, so we'd come out like on a road like this. If there was a little turnoff in a little field, I'd just go putt around on my little mini bike. And as a kid, I loved it. It was so great. My mom would take me out, So as a little kid and my mom, we had to kind of get the bike in and out. And those are fond memories for me as a kid. I don't have a lot that I think back on that was really great, but that's one of them. Just remember going down a dirt road and finding a little open patch, and just that little bit of time as a kid, it was so good. So, it's kind of like my theory of this, my theory about the budget four-wheel drive. I talked about the Land Cruiser that I got. I talked about my friends that picked up that 4Runner for real cheap. We're talking, they got it for like $3,000, but like under $5,000, something that's fun and reliable. It's the same thing I'm talking about like when I was a kid. We didn't have any money, and I had, like some broken down, re-welded together little thing, and it was fun. It was memorable. I remember to this day doing that stuff. And if maybe you don't have a lot of money, but you got kids, and it's things like that they're going to remember forever. So don't think that you have to go out to buy a brand new, top of the line, fancy, shiny thing just to get out and do something. For me, it was just a matter of being out there and doing it, right? I don't know if I can explain it well enough, just how important those types of things are, especially to kids. Get out there. Number one, get out there and do stuff with them, right? Number two, introduce them to things in the outdoors, like camping, like just going out for the day and walking around and picking up rocks. I know it may sound stupid to some people, but legitimately it's just fun. It's fun to get out and like here I was up on top of the mountain looking back toward the red rocks earlier, right? Now I'm down in these valleys working my way back out through, trying to get back to the flatlands on the other side. And just the view, you know, this is desert. This is high desert here. This isn't mountains, but I got big juniper trees and pinyon pines around here. I just love it. I just love it. Maybe it reminds me of all my years growing up, all the time I spent out in the deserts, off-roading in trucks that weren't capable of off-roading very well, but it didn't matter. Baja Bug, the little trail bike. After that, I got an ATC, a three-wheeler. It was a 110S Honda, pull start, big balloon tires, no suspension. There's no suspension on it, it's rigid. It only had the balloon tires. And super dangerous, so dangerous, right? Because the more you ride it, the faster you want to go, the more excited you are. And this thing was designed, I don't know what the heck it was designed for. Like lifeguards cruising around on a beach, maybe on a farm. But pull start, no suspension, three wheels, balloon tires, flipped over very easily. I flipped that thing over multiple times. But it was, you know, some used POS that we got, and I loved it. I loved it. I wouldn't trade it for the world, except for maybe the broken leg. Broke my tibia, my shin bone in half on that thing. That kind of set me back a little bit. I was in 7th grade. No, 7th grade? 6th? I think it was the summer between 6th and 7th grade, something like that. It was nasty. I had to learn how, I was in a cast for 3 months. I had to learn how to walk again. My leg was straight for 3 months. So when it came out, my knee wouldn't bend and my ankle didn't work. And, you know, my tibia was busted in half, which is your shin bone. It healed back. And I literally had my thigh was about just a little bit thicker than the bone itself. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. This was back in the day when they still used plaster cast, not fiberglass or whatever they do now. They just wrap you up and say see you in 3 months and hopefully you heal. But I got through it. And at that age, you know, it was one of those things. It was one of those things that controversy, stress, fear, all the things that could take you and split you off the road in the wrong direction. And it made me tougher, made me more resilient. It made me appreciate things more, simple things. So yeah, and this was a long time ago, like 22 years ago. Anyway, that stuff there, this area totally reminded me of it. When I saw these, there's some little roads and they're just like a little open dirt area. That's all you need. You don't need some crazy epic hill climb and all. You just need to take your kids out and have fun with them. And just do this stuff. It's so good. All this stuff is going through my mind because what I was talking about a little bit earlier. You know, I want to get past this year. I want to get past this election. I want things. And I'm not going to say I don't want things to return to what they were. I want things just to be good for everybody, right? And good for you is maybe different than what's good for me. But we need something that's good for all of us. And good for me is just healthy, working hard. It doesn't even need to go more than that. As long as I'm healthy and I've got a job and I'm working hard at it, and I'm just able to do things like this. That's all I need. That's simple. I don't ask for too much, and I don't think you guys should either. Because if you do those things, the other things, the intangibles that come in from that, they'll show up on their own, right? They'll show up on their own. Like saying, oh, I want a new truck. Well, work hard, be healthy. It'll come. It'll all come in time. Patience. We need patience in this day and age. We need understanding and patience. Quit thinking that you can do anything you want right now. That's just not the way life is. I'm sorry. Life hasn't changed from 20 years ago till today. Life isn't different when I was 16 versus when you're 16. Don't get caught up with thinking that you can have anything you want instantaneous just because that's how the internet works. Well, that in life, the only things that are good and worthwhile and make you feel good are things that you really have to work for and that take time. And when you finally achieve that, it's like, it's so rewarding. It's so much more rewarding than if something's just given to you, or you're like, well, I want this, and then you get it, right? So you stop crying or whatever. It's just, you got to toughen up a little bit, have some patience, work at it, because working at things is so good. Trust me, it's so good. If you're feeling lost, like you've got nothing, you're trying to attach to these bad things that are going on today, I'm telling you, if you work for something that you really want, that right there in itself is so rewarding. You're gonna love it. It's so funny. I was thinking, you know, I just did a section there. I think I was talking for like 8 minutes, you know. It's like truck vlog. I don't know, you know, everybody has their own little thing that is this guy stopped or is he slow rolling? Hold on a second. Camper, trailer, he stopped. Howdy, partner. See, this is etiquette. I just passed a guy. I'm going slow. I don't step on it and throw all this dust up. Just cruise. When you get by, then you can open it up. That's called off-roading etiquette. I think you know, there's a lot of things that I learned over the years that I don't necessarily talk about because I kind of take it for granted that it's obvious, right? It's common sense, but it's not. So there might be, I kind of have to rethink the way I talk in these things and maybe explain some things like that, because it's for the benefit of all, right? Etiquette when off-roading. There's so many new off-roaders because there's nothing else to do. If they have something they can go off-road, they're doing it now more than ever. Because believe me, I see it out here. And they just think that it's like, you know, how they race around the street and cut people off and slam on their brakes and do all that crap. Well, out here you can't do that. Because let me put a scenario to you like this. I was cruising along and I wasn't in a hurry. I think I was looking for somebody passed me, and you know, passed me going fast. It threw rocks up, it threw dirt up. 5 miles down the road, guess who's pulled off to the side with a flat tire? That's called karma. Now I stopped to check to make sure that, you know, if they had the tools, the jack, and they had a spare tire and they were all good to go. They were. And I took the time to say, hey, you know, once you talk to someone, you can figure out if they're a jackass or if they're just clueless, right? And they were just clueless. They didn't go by like, whoa, yeah, pitch a roost on me. No, they just went by too fast, and tires on these rocky, dirty roads fling up rocks. And so I told them, I'm like, hey, when you went by me back there, you threw crap all over my vehicle, you know? I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry, you know, we didn't realize. I'm like, okay, so listen, when you pass, you know, if you're gonna pass someone or they pull over to let you pass, slow down, pass slowly, wait till you get far enough ahead to floor it, you know? And I just explained to them, they just didn't even realize what happens off-road. You know, they had like one of those mall, you know, soccer, whatever, I don't know, little SUV type of thing, and it was probably their first time off-road. That's why they got a flat, because they had street tires on it, and they hit a rock at like 60 psi and gone. See ya. With the big rims, right? Big rims, low profile tires, worst type of off-road situation you can be in. If you want to run 20s on your truck, stay on the road. Most people do. Most people they have these big lifted trucks and 20 or 22-inch rims. Oh, come on. That's not for off-road. They don't ever go off-road. They only go to the detail shop to get them shined up. But that, hey, to each his own, that's fine, right? I just don't understand why you'd want to jack something way up in the air. I guess maybe that's a street thing, because lifting something that big off-road is terrible. It's really bad. Actually, the lower center of gravity, the better. if you can, like, that's what's so great about this truck here, the Raptor. This thing is not very tall. It runs 35s, and it's got all this suspension travel in the fender wells and inside the bed sides, right? So it's not jacked up in the air. And if you look at it next to a regular four-wheel drive truck, it's the same height, sometimes even lower. But man, I can go through huge bumps because I have that articulation, and 35s give me the clearance I need. And my center of gravity, because it's based off a race truck. And in racing, you don't want to be up in the air. You want to be all that way down so you can handle off-road. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm going to turn off the camera because I have to ride with the windows down with all the dust. I'm going to have to turn on the air conditioner because I'm actually sweating, even though it's 75 degrees out. It's 75 degrees out at 2 p.m. Winter is coming. I'm so happy about that. All right, you guys. Thanks for joining me on my little busy, dusty road adventure. See you guys next video.